Okay, for our fourth resolution, be it resolved that a hug is the best way to greet someone. Our Prime Minister will speak for 3 minutes, and our Prime Minister is Jenna. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Sorry, come on now. Okay.
Of course, hugs are the best way to greet people. Hugs are personal. It's impersonal to greet a long-lost friend at the airport that you haven't seen in ages without giving a hug. Hugs are a privilege. Most people don't just give them out to just anyone or everyone. Hugs are affectionate. Hugs are beneficial to those who are family, friends, lovers, creepy people, or perverts. So they're beneficial for all types of people. A hug can last however long or short you'd like it. Hugs are natural. Most people grow up learning to know how to hug from family. And hugs are a great way to know people and feel closer to them in more ways than one. And it's so robotic to greet someone without a hug. And lots of people want and expect to be greeted with a hug, such as partners, friends, family. And to be so impersonal to go to greet someone with a hug, to be so impersonal to go to greet someone with a handshake when that other person goes in for a hug is creating an impersonal and awkward moment. And so therefore, it would be better to treat someone a bit more personal to be on the safe side than to be short of affection. And that's why hugs are a better way to greet people.
Thank you, Jenna. And now to speak against the motion, the leader of the opposition, Nissar, will speak for 3 minutes.
Madam Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Prime Minister, I'll start off by asking a question. I walked into this room. For many of you, I'm a stranger. Imagine if I came in and walked around and started hugging everyone. It'd be very awkward, right? So that is my first point. Hug is complicated. The context of hug is very complicated. Each hug is different. And each time you hug somebody else, you have to think about it. I'm a simple guy. I like things to be very simple. A handshake is very simple. Like when I hug my buddy, there is a way men hug. And when I'm hugging a lady friend whom I don't have a romantic interest, I would hug a different way. Make sure my hands are in a certain position. When I hug somebody I like, it's a different position. Very complicated. And we live in a society where we don't want to think too much. So why go through the hassle? Handshake. Second thing, hug is local. It is not universal. So those of you who do not know, hug is mostly used in North America and Europe. I come from Asia. I come from India. And a hug is something, it's only seen between people you know very, very well. Sometimes only within the family. I'll give you a quick story. I came to Canada. I was watching a renovation show on HGTV with my mother, and she saw the real estate agent walk in and hug the client as a way of greeting. And she said, "Oh, they're married." "No, Mom, they're not married. There's a client." And she was shocked. Really, people do that. So the reason I tell you this story is not everybody accepts hugging. You go to India or you go to China and you hug someone, it makes things awkward. So it's not universal. Third thing, not everyone is huggable. Well, let me give you an example, right? I know since everybody's talking about Rob Ford, I might as well talk about Rob Ford. He has a huge belly. If I try to hug Rob Ford, it makes it very awkward to hug him. But if I shake his hand, it is easy. So the handshake is universal. It is simple compared to a hug. And my worthy opponent has talked about awkward, robotic handshakes. Imagine you go into a job interview, you want that job, and your interviewer is your potential boss. Instead of shaking hands, you go and hug that person. It gives a wrong idea. And it does make, hugging only works with somebody you know and you show an affectionate relationship. So that is why it is not universal. It is complicated. It is not simple. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, I implore you to vote against this ridiculous idea that hug is the best way to greet someone. If you don't believe me, walk around the room, hug everyone. You know how awkward that is. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nissar. And now our Prime Minister will speak for 1 minute.
Well, it definitely sounds like our leader of opposition needs some more hugs in his life. A hug is personal, and those people who don't see it that way or find it awkward need to work on their perception issues. People need to get along with each other better and need to understand one another better, and hugs are a great start to that. And we can influence people to be more huggable by hugging them. And hugs are not the wrong idea in an interview because it shows connection and that you want to establish some sort of client relationship with that person. And that's why hugs are a great way to greet everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenna. Can I see a show of hands for the motion? And against the motion? Okay, the motion is defeated. Nissar wins.